Caitlin Clark's golf debut just made me so upset with the WNBA. Did you see what Caitlin Clark just did? She didn't just swing the golf club, she swung the entire sports world. The LPGA's brilliant move to feature Clark has everyone talking. And it's not about basketball now. You're probably wondering, wait, what does golf have to do with the WNBA? Buckle up, because we're about to show you how one smart play by the LPGA just schooled the WNBA in marketing 101, and trust me, you won't believe what the WNBA missed out on debut. And it is no fault of hers that I got upset, it is the fault of the WNBA. Because the LPGA just did everything that the WNBA should have been doing this season. They did it all correct in literally one day. Here's the deal: the LPGA invited Caitlin to a prom event at first. This wasn't even going to be on TV, can you believe it? But then something crazy happened. Fans started blowing up the LPGA's social media. They were begging to see Can play golf. It was like nothing the LPGA had seen before. Originally wasn't even going to be televised, but there were so many fans who were emailing the organization saying, how can we watch Caitlin? Can we come to the event? So what did the LPGA do? They listened. Instead of strutting off the buzz, they put the event on television, making it accessible for fans eager to watch Caitlin Clark's golf debut golf event. So the LPGA event is expanding its pram coverage around Caitlin Clark's participation. Golf Channel's Golf to Today will begin 90 minutes early on Wednesday and include live look-in. It has also been said that you will get to see Caitlin Clark's warm-up, but they didn't stop there. They paired Caitlin with Nelly Korda, the world's top golfer. Talk about a power. This move highlighted Caitlin's popularity while drawing attention to Nelly and the LPGA, so there are photos of Caitlin and Nelly literally everywhere. And the LPGA was so smart in doing this, because they knew that there would be so many eyeballs on Caitlin. So if they put their number one golfer, who is currently leading the sport and pushing the sport ahead, if they put her next to Caitlin for the entire event, that's just great. It's great for Nelly, and it's great for everyone else. Now let's talk about how smart this move was. The LPGA didn't just showcase Caitlin, they put her right next to their biggest star. It's like they said, hey, you like basketball? Check out how cool golf can be too. And you know what? It worked. The LPGA's social media was on fire. They were posting photos and videos of Caitlin left and right. You couldn't scroll through Twitter without seeing her face. She was trending. And it wasn't even basketball season that there was so much buzz online. She was trending on Twitter, all of the things, and the LPGA was promoting the crap out of this event. But here's where it gets really interesting. This wasn't just about Caitlin. The LPGA used her star power to shine a light on their own players. Suddenly, people who might never have watched golf were tuning in. They came for Caitlin, but they stayed for the amazing golf they saw and the golf pros. They loved it. Brittany Lindholm, a big name in golf, couldn't stop praising Caitlin. She said what she has done for women's sports and basketball, and to have her at our golf tournament, I'm like in awe. I've got a basketball and hoping she signs it for my girls. But how cool for her to come out and support us this week and only help grow women's golf. That's huge coming from a pro golfer. This smart move put both Caitlin and in the spotlight, bringing new eyes to women's golf. It wasn't just a win for Caitlin or the LPGA. It was a win for women's sports as a whole. Now, you're probably wondering, what does this have to do with the WNBA? The LPGA showed how to harness star power and took a risk that paid off. Unlike the WNBA, there was no backlash about favoritism or diversity, just smart marketing that worked. Now from this event, I have only seen and heard of positive things. I didn't hear one thing about how her fans are toxic. I didn't hear one thing about there being too much spotlight on Caitlin Clark, and it should have maybe been on the professional golfers that are there. We didn't hear any of that, and those are the types of things that we have been hearing for the entirety of the WNBA season. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the basketball player on the golf course. While Caitlin Clark was making waves in a whole new sport, guess who was nowhere to be seen? That's right, the WNBA. Their silence was so loud it's got everyone asking, what were they thinking? You'd think the WNBA would be all over this, right? Caitlin Clark, their future superstar, was getting attention left and right. But here's the kicker: the WNBA didn't post a single thing about Caitlin's golf debut. Not one tweet, not one Instagram post, not even a simple good luck Caitlin. It's like they completely forgot she existed. Can you believe it? The fact that the WNBA posted nothing zero posted zero about Caitlin Clark golfing in this prom event, while the LPGA was shouting Caitlin's name from the rooftops. The WNBA was acting like she'd vanished into thin air. It's almost like they were pretending it wasn't happening. But guess what? It was happening, and everyone was talking about it, except the WNBA. If you look at the LPGA Twitter account, it is filled with Caitlin Clark things, photos of her. A whole video of the fans cheering her, signing things, taking photos, their players hanging out with Caitlin, and obviously they're showing their golfers as well. Now you might be thinking maybe they just missed it, but come on, how could they? Caitlin was trending on social media. Her face was everywhere. The LPGA was posting photos and videos non-stop. It was impossible to miss unless you were living under a rock, and last time I checked, the WNBA wasn't in the rock-dwelling business, and this was the perfect opportunity for the WNBA to do. Like, have you seen it when an NBA player or a football player goes to an NBA game or goes to wherever, and they'll be in the comments, or they'll just say something like something cute? This was the perfect time for the WNBA to also be posting about this, and they said nothing. Remember all those fans who are begging to see Caitlin play golf? Those are potential WNBA fans, people who might never have watched a basketball game in their lives, were suddenly interested in a basketball player. That's marketing goal right there, and the WNBA, they let it slip through their fingers. This silence isn't just a missed marketing opportunity, it's a sign of a bigger problem. It's like the WNBA doesn't know what to do with a star like Caitlin Clark. They've got this incredible talent, this crossover appeal, and they're just ignoring it. Remember how fans were saying the WNBA doesn't promote Caitlin Clark enough? Well, guess what? They're absolutely right. The proof is staring us in the face. And it's not pro PR, and it just goes to show that all of us who have been speaking out about this and saying it doesn't seem like you guys are giving Caitlin, the kind of props that she deserves for bringing all these eyeballs, and the Caitlin Clark effect that we talk about, viewership, money, all of those things, all of the people who were shouting this for the entire WNBA season. This is an instance where we are proved correct. Let's talk about what just happened with Clark's golf debut. The LPGA went all out posting about Caitlin nonstop. Correct. You see her at the event. You see the kind of noise that this is making. You see that this is trending on social media. You see that Sports Center, Bleacher Report, all of these places, every media outlet is covering this, and you don't say anything. Their social media was buzzing with Clark content. Photos, videos, you name it, they treated her like the star she is. And what did the WNBA do? Nothing, zilch, zero. Now, you might be thinking maybe they just missed it, but come on, this was everywhere. The LPGA made sure of that. They paired Caitlin with Nelly Korda, their top golfer. It was impossible to miss unless you were actively trying to ignore it. They put their best golfer in the tour league, whatever it's called, they put her with Caitlin because they knew that she would get more eyeballs doing that. They propped up all of their golfers in one event, and you would be crazy to think that they're not going to have another event and invite Caitlin to it. They're going to invite Caitlin to as many events as they possibly can because they saw what it just did for the sport of golf. Let's be clear, this isn't just bad marketing, it's a slap in the face to Clark and the fans. Calling out the WNBA for not promoting Clark aren't just complaining to all the fans who support her. It sends a message that the WNBA doesn't care about its players' success beyond the basketball court. That's what we were talking about this whole season. We were correct, the fans that were saying that the WNBA seems to be trying to quiet the noise of Caitlin Clark, not letting her shine to her full ability, and not in turn not helping your own players in the league. We were right, and this event proved it because the LPGA did literally everything correct. They capitalized on the moment. They found a way to put it on television. They allowed people to be there. The fans calling out the WNBA for not promoting Clark aren't just complaining, they're pointing out a real problem. The WNBA is missing chance after chance to build excitement, to bring in new fans, to show that they value their players. What's the WNBA thinking? Are they afraid to spotlight Caitlin Clark? Whatever the reason, they're missing out and risk losing fans. Tired of seeing stars ignoring Clark is bad enough, but it's worse long-term. She's part of a rising generation of talent, and if the league doesn't adapt, they'll lose future stars before they even arrive. And I just don't understand why the WNBA, I will never understand. I feel like they fumbled so many things this season. They weren't ready for the moment, and this just proves that you can be ready for the moment. There is things that you can do. And I hope that they get it right. Next season, let's talk about Paige Buckers and Ju Gu Watkins. The future of women's basketball. Buckers, Yukon star, has over 1 million Instagram followers. While Watkins' following is growing rapidly, these athletes aren't just players, they're influencers now. Imagine if the WNBA treated them like Clark. These stars might wonder, is this what's ahead for me? The league risks losing not just these players, but also fans' revenue and growth. You have great players in this league. You have Paige coming in, you have Juju. Do not fumble it with those girls either. Stop fumbling the moment, because you're not only fumbling it for the current players in the league, you are fumbling it for every girl who wants to play professional basketball at one point. Think about it. The LPGA just showed everyone what's possible when you embrace star power. They took a basketball player, not even a golfer, and turned her into a golf sensation for a day. People who never watched golf before tuned in. That's the kind of exit the WNBA should be creating. Instead, the WNBA seems hesitant to let its stars shine, missing opportunities to promote players like Buckers and Watkins. Experts agree the future of women's basketball depends on star power. If the WNBA keeps passing on chances like they did with Clark, they risk losing new fans and viewership. You are fumbling it for people like me, who never wanted to play professional basketball because I didn't see a future in it. Now girls can see a future in it. Now girls can see that can make a lot of money playing. Now girls see that they can be on the biggest stage, and that college isn't the biggest stage anymore. It can possibly be the WNBA. Do not fumble it for all of those girls as well. And here's the real kicker, it's not just about the current stars, it's about inspiring the next generation. Every time the WNBA fails to promote its stars, they're sending a message to young athletes. They're saying, don't bother pursuing professional basketball, we won't support you anyway. That's how you kill a league's growth and sustainability. The WNBA needs to learn from this, and fast. They need to start treating their stars like stars. They need to get excited about players like Buckers and Watkins now before they even join the league, because if they don't, they risk falling behind in the world of women's sports. And once you fall behind, it's hard to catch up. So what's the takeaway from all this? Well, that's where it gets really interesting. The WNBA is at a crossroads, and their next move could make or break the future of women's basketball. Will they learn from the LPGA success, or will they keep playing it safe and risk losing everything? The clock is ticking, and the whole sports world is watching. The LPGA did literally everything correct. They capitalized on the moment. They found a way to put it on television. They allowed people to be there. Kaylin was signing autograph. All right, let's wrap this up. The LPGA just gave us a masterclass in marketing, and the WNBA better be taking notes. They showed us how to turn a basketball star into a golf sensation overnight. That's the kind of thinking that grows women's sports. Now, if you're sitting there fired up about this, don't just keep it to yourself. The WNBA needs to hear from fans like you. Tell them you want to see more of your favorite players, not less. Share those highlights. Tweet about those amazing plays. Make some noise. Their #1 golfer. This is the perfect marketing opportunity. Because here's the thing, this isn't just about Caitlin Clark, it's about every woman putting in the work on the court, on the field, or wherever they compete. They deserve the spotlight, they deserve the cheers, and they deserve a league that's going to shout their names from the rooftops. So let's make sure women's sports get the attention they've earned. The ball's in our court now. What are we going to do with it? Iowa's Caitlin Clark could be part of NBA All-Star Weekend. Even though she doesn't play for the Iowa Hawkeyes anymore, Caitlin Clark is still followed very closely by all of her fans from college. She will likely go down as the most impactful athlete to ever come through Iowa. Now, she's looking to build her WNBA career with the Indiana Fever, and she put together an impressive rookie season. During her rookie season, Clark ended up playing in 40 games. She averaged 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, 5.7 rebounds, and 1.3 steals per game. In addition to her averages, Clark shot 41.7% from the floor and 34.4% from three-point range. Heading into her second WNBA season, Clark could very well find herself being a part of the NBA All-Star Weekend. ESPN NBA insider Shams Charania has made a report that suggests that the NBA is considering including Clark in All-Star Weekend events. One option would be to expand the Stephen Curry versus Sabrina Ionescu three-point shooting contest to include Clark and another NBA player, potentially Klay Thompson. Curry and WNBA star Sabrina Ionescu of the New York Liberty participated in the first NBA versus WNBA three-point challenge at All-Star Saturday Night this February in Indianapolis. Curry and Ionescu are in strong conversations to return in a variation of the shootout, which could include other NBA and WNBA players such as Klay Thompson of the Dallas Mavericks and Caitlin Clark of the Indiana Fever, sources said. Fans would absolutely love to watch a three-point shooting event between those four athletes. The Curry versus Ionescu event was extremely entertaining already. Clark has built a global brand. At this point in time, it would be more surprising if she isn't included in the All-Star Weekend events for the NBA than if she was. Just like she did during her college career with the Hawkeyes, Clark is changing women's basketball. She has put the WNBA on the map as must-watch basketball entertainment. It will be interesting to see what 2025 has in store for Clark, and all Iowa fans are sure to be right behind her rooting her on.